Hello everybody, and how are you today? This is Sue McCurdy from Susie Q Designs, coming to you from my scrapbook room to do another organizational video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how I store my Stampin Blends. I've just got a few new ones in this year and I haven't reorganized them yet, so I'm going to show you how I do that and show you the two different ways that I organize them. Okay, so two different ways to store your Stampin Blends
So
today.
I purchased this project case from Michaels. It is from the Recollections collection there. It holds 8.5 by 11-inch paper. So the measurements of this is 21.5 centimeters times 27.9 centimeters. Okay, so this, and then by 1.5 inch this way. So it holds two whole sides of Stampin Blends markers. So I'll just show you how that looks when I open it up. It has a couple of latches on the side here. I'm gonna open that up, and I used some Velcro, a long strip all along two sides on each of the two sides there. So I've got actually 4 strips. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just bring that back a little bit. Okay, and then I've made up a card here of the colors that I have. So what I have done this year is I've bought a bunch of new ones, so I need to revamp this and get the ones out that are retired. So let's do that next. Okay, so I've just checked and all of these are still current, so they can all stay in here, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough space because I bought some new ones. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out the ones that are for skin coloring and I'm gonna put them in a different place. And I didn't put Velcro on the back of these because that's what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna put those at the side, and I did buy a couple more for skin coloring. I'm just looking here and I see that I'm missing my Night of Navy dark, so I must have used that for a class. And my Poppy Parade dark is also missing. My Real Red dark is missing, so I just gotta see if I have those on hand and put them in here. Okay, so everything else looks good. So let's see what I have bought. Okay, so here's all my new ones here. So when I label these ones, because these are skin color ones, I am going to label them in the same font as these, then I know that they stay together. I'll also note that they stay together because they have numbers on them. I think I'll probably add the numbers on them as well. Okay, and then these ones need to be labeled and go into my container. So let's get the labeler out. What I have here is my Brother labeler. This is really old, but you can get one that looks the same in just a newer color. And I ordered that online from Staples, I believe. So it's a great labeler. I can do different sizes, styles, underlines, frames, accent. Just by pressing the code button, it'll give you all those other things to do. It will do 2 lines of type as well, which I like. When I organize my stamp sets, I do use 2 lines of type, but on these I'm just going to do 1 line of type. So let's make some labels for these. So in this number 3 size, so there's different sizes here, so I'm doing the 3rd one here for all of my Stampin' Blends that are going into the container there. So you can back this up and see if what you've typed is good, and then you can reuse some of the words if you need to on the next one. So I did Mossy Meadow Dark and Mossy Meadow Light. So I'm just going to print that out, and that'll be for these two. And then I'm going to change the font when I type in the numbers for these ones, because I'm going to keep these in a different spot. They're not going to fit in my container. So let's get that out of the wrapper. So now I'm going to change this size to number 2, and I think that's the size that this one's going to be. So let's do SU 700 and SU 800. Or I can just leave, actually I don't really need to type that out because I can just leave that. Now this one was from the medium package. These ones were from the medium light package. So I'm going to call this one medium light and medium dark. So I can save the word light here and then get rid of the words that I don't need. Let's see what I have. Just erase all of that. Okay, so I need medium, light, and then I can scroll over and do medium dark, space. Okay, and I did it in the number 2 size, so hopefully that's the correct size. So we'll compare the different fonts when I take this out. So this is the size that I used for inside the case, so that's good. And this one looks actually too big. I did it bigger than that, so I must have used a number 1 size when I did it. I think I like that size better, so I'm gonna do it again in the number 1 size. So I'm just gonna change the size here. Oh, now my code's not working. I'm just gonna shut it off and shut it or turn it back on and see if that changes the size. So I gotta do code. Oh, I was pressing the wrong button. That's why. Okay, so I've got that in the right size now. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, so that's size 3, that's size 2, and this should be size 1. Yeah, that looks like a better size for that. Okay, so I'm gonna put those on there. This one I'm not gonna use, and then I'm gonna put this one on here. And then I have all of these markers that I need to label as well. So I'm gonna label all of these. Okay, so I got all these ones labeled, which are my new ones, and now I'm going to unpackage this and get these ones labeled. So here we have Mossy Meadow, light and dark. So here is the dark one. And these look so good when they are just first labeled because the labels stay on them really well. But after a while, sometimes the label comes off a little bit when they're in the container. So they're not as neat after a while, but it's still nice to have these on because it's so much easier to read these labels than read the print that's on them. So see how good that looks? All right, so now I'll finish the other ones. Okay, so I'm just finishing up labeling these. So this one is my medium light one and my medium dark. So these ones go together in order with these ones. And there are a bunch of other ones that I don't have yet. So like the light ones and the dark ones. So they do have numbers, which is nice too. You can go by the numbers 500, 600, 700, and 800. So darker to lighter. Okay, and here's how these ones turned out and all of these ones. I'm gonna get rid of these backings, and now I'm gonna see if I have any more Velcro to fit these into my container. But I'm not going to put these ones in. I'm gonna keep them in a separate spot. So I'm gonna put those out. All right, see if I have room for these now. So I've just taken inventory of which ones are retired on my sheet here. So Starry Light is retired, so I'm gonna remove that one. Parakeet Party is retired, and so is Tahitian Tide. So I'm gonna get rid of those ones and then add my new ones to my chart and actually do a new chart. I really like how my labels turned out. They're so much easier to read. And this is how the inside of my case looks now. I'm very happy with it. This is what my finished product looks like. So I organized it as best that I could to fit the ones in that I needed to have in. And I got all of the ones in that are current, but I did not put in my skin coloring ones in here. Okay, so I've got my color lifter, which takes the color out, my blacks, and then my darker blues to the lighter blues, pinks, purples, reds, orange, yellow, green, and brown, and gray. And this is what my chart looks like. So I retyped my whole chart and I put them in a nice color order that I liked. And beside them, I wrote in which family color it was in. So these ones are in colors. These are brights. These are regals, brights, subtles, neutrals, and a bunch of neutrals here. I forgot to type in Misty Moonlight for some reason on here. I missed it, so I just added it at the end, and I'm fine with that. And over here I have ivory and bronze. A couple of my markers, I noticed weren't working properly. Like the bronze is dried out. So if I think I'm going to need that one, I'm going to have to buy a new one. And my Melon Mambo Dark had a lot of black in it. So somebody must have used it and colored over top of black. So I don't know if I need a new one or not. I'm probably going to order a new one of those and then move that one into my extras. So I'll show you how my extras look and where I keep those. Okay, so if I close this up, the Velcro works pretty good. I just reused the Velcro. So only one fell off, so that was the color lifter. So I might need a new piece of Velcro on that one, unfortunately. So let's put that one back in. And this one fell off. So what I did is I reused my Velcro from the ones that I retired, and I just put them back on here. But it looks like I could use some new Velcro on there. Okay, good. None of those fell off, so that's great. Okay, so now my case is all snapped up and ready to go. And when I put it on my shelf, I wrote Stampin Blends on this side. So when I have it on my shelf, I can see what's in there, and it's easy to take with me to crafts now. Next, I'm going to show you how I store my extra markers. So this slips right into my Calyx unit. And this is where I store all my extra markers. I have some extra coloring sheets here that I used with my watercolor pencils, and which ones I used to color these pictures here. On the sheet, I wrote all these are retired colors except for Mossy Meadow. I had an extra one, so that's a current one. And these ones are the skin coloring ones. And I included ivory in that. It's not exactly a skin coloring one, but it's pretty close. I would use these for skin coloring. So the 4 that I have for skin coloring are these 4. There are more that I can purchase if I think that I need more than that. Okay, so all of my retired markers go in this case. And it's just a bunch of markers that are extra. And I actually have an extra one, a petal pink. So when that one goes bad, I have an extra one. Or if I'm doing a class and I need a couple, there's an extra that I have there. So that's perfect. And then all my skin coloring ones I put right here. Okay, so they're handy beside my desk if I need them, if I'm doing any coloring. Okay, so I could have colored this girl in using Stampin Blends, and now I have some skin colors to use there. Okay, so it says here I used the Petal Pink light marker for her skin on that one. So that's also an option to use Petal Pink. Okay, so I've got all these labeled. These ones don't have Velcro on them, except for this one because I took it out of the case. And these are extra Stampin' Right markers. So I'll just put these here, and then I'll put it right on my shelf, and I know where they are. This kit fits perfectly on my Calyx unit, and I can just slide it out when I'm ready to use it. And be sure to store your markers sideways, as that's how they should be stored, so that the ink doesn't go to one end of the markers. Okay, so I've just got that stored in there on my Calyx unit. And then over here a little bit is where I have my extra markers. So they're right here. When I need them, I can just pull that out. So that's how I store my Stampin' Blends. Thanks for joining me, everybody, today. Have a great day.